Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Conversations with leading experts in business. And today I have an incredible guest, Héctor Rodríguez Curbelo. Héctor is a serial entrepreneur, author and mentor and founder of Be the Boss. Our topic today is buying your life back with online business structure. Héctor, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Hi, Mark. It's really a pleasure to be here with you.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Héctor. Before I get started, I'm just going to make a legal disclaimer that Héctor is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. Let's get started with the show. Héctor, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, Mark, I can. It will be my pleasure. Well, what I do now has nothing to do with what I used to do 20 years ago. I'm Uruguayan, born and raised in Uruguay, that little country in South America. We are really good at soccer, but we are super tiny. Now I live in Sweden, and back in the day, I was an Air Force officer. I graduated at the Uruguayan Air Force Academy, and I got married soon after. So when I was 25, 26, I had my life already decided, let's say, planned, with nothing else to do but just move forward with the biology, have kids, grandkids, and then pay bills and die. And that was exactly the time when I actually had, and I quote, my life, my successful life made, that I started developing a really deep and really powerful depression state. I started losing weight as well, being sad and just being unhappy. The word I would use is just, I wasn't happy. I was purely, utterly unhappy. And what made things worse is that my family, my friends, my wife, the people that was closer to me, that cared the most, they were eager to tell me how wrong it was for me to feel like that, because I was not supposed to be wanting something more. I was supposed to be thankful and grateful for what I had, and value my career, value my wife and my family, and just stop thinking about other things. I mean, you shouldn't. Why would you want those things? You're not meant to have. I don't know. You cannot travel. Why would you want a super fancy car? Or why would you want to change lives? What is it? Writing a book? What is that? Things not like that. It's not that my family thought those were bad things, but most certainly they knew as a fact that those things were not for me, like they were not for them. And I always thought differently. I mean, when I talk to my clients today or my students, I use this metaphor of what society is, and it's like a building, and we all live in this building. And the reason that will set you higher on the building, higher on the floors, to live in either in the first floor, on the 10th floor, on the penthouse, is how much you study, how much you prepare in this thing that is society. So if you study a lot, then most likely you will be on the top floors. If you don't, most likely you will be on the first floors. But the truth that I realized years ago is that no matter how high you are in the building, we all look through the window to the world that is outside as something that we cannot reach, something that we look, that we cannot touch. And I always knew that was not the case, that I just need to try to go and get it, So that's what I did. At 28, 29, I decided to change my life. And I literally quit everything. My career became just a means to an end. I didn't quit the Air Force right away. I needed money, one needs to eat. And if you want to build something, you need some money. But I did leave my wife at that point because it was part of what was keeping me a prisoner of that situation. At that moment, I would have quit my parents as well if I could. It's not that they were mean to me, but it was a really, really bad state in my life. And so I started growing. I decided, okay, let's do something with my life. Let's look for something. Let's make everybody happy. Let's help things. Let's make things better. So I didn't know where to go. I just knew where I didn't want to be. So I started with what I knew from the past. I used to be, before in the Air Force, I was a model, and then I work in nightclubs and events and stuff like that. So I went to that area of expertise, let's say. So I started with a friend, a productions company, and eventually, years after, it developed into a modeling agency, which was actually super successful for many years in my country. And we had offices in Argentina, in Panama, in Venezuela, in Miami. And then we launched a modeling magazine, fashion trends and news magazine. We published that one in Uruguay and Argentina. It was actually the highest value production cost magazine in the whole country back in 2015. At that point, I have moved to Africa because 1 year before, I had an opportunity to quit the Air Force for a better means to an end, let's say, to get more money to build my stuff. Because I was offered a job as a specialist in the United Nations. I didn't quit my professional background, let's say, immediately. I used it to keep growing. And since I had, I knew a lot of languages, not a lot, but a few languages. And I was an expert in air operations and military tactics and strategies. United Nations seemed to like my profile, so they offered me a job as a specialist in Congo. So I moved to Congo. So I started guiding, working 1.5, 2 days a week with 10 times more salary that I used to have in the Air Force. And at the same time, kept building my businesses back in Uruguay. But at some point, because my business was in Uruguay is super tiny. The economic is limited. Everything is limited in there. And I was far away. I started losing money and I was not making what I wanted. It was just more like a burden. So I decided that I needed to bring the brand to the world. That's what I started studying and learning digital marketing, which opened up a huge world for me. I learned about affiliate marketing, affiliate businesses, online businesses, e-commerce, cryptocurrencies, you name it, everything. And then I started traveling a lot to the States, doing seminars, conferences, having mentors, learning new books, I actually binged, I don't know how many books in the next 2-3 years. I would say 100, I don't know. And then I learned a lot. And I started working online, making money online in businesses. And I remember the first time that I blew my mind when I actually checked. And I looked back, and in 3 months, I made $38,000 just doing businesses online, investing and doing e-commerce and affiliate marketing. So I kind of started quitting the idea of having a modeling agency because, again, in the beginning, it was not my calling. I told you I knew where I didn't want to be, but not where I wanted to go. I just started with what I knew, and one thing developed into the next. But then I found out something that really, really passionated me when somebody asked me, "Hey, how do you do it?" It was somebody in Uruguay, because at that point I was traveling the world. We're talking 2015, traveling the world, making a lot of money, and not as much as compared to what I used to make in the Air Force. That was $500 a month. I was making tens of thousands of dollars a month, and that was quite a difference. And then I started helping this guy, and then one guy became five became 10, 50, 100. And at the end of 2016, I had 200 students. And that was my passion. I said, okay, I need to keep helping people, teaching them how to do what I do now, because it's amazing. I can do what I want. But then at that point, I had so many that I was starting to become a prisoner of that situation, because I was spending 40 to 50 hours a week just coaching people, and actually for no money. I was becoming a slave of what I want to do. So it was not the idea really. Then I decided, how can I do it? I want to keep doing it, but how can I do it in order for me to win my life back? To get time for me again. So I started planning and designing what today is, as you call it, Be the Boss. It's actually Sé el Jefe, which is Be the Boss in Spanish, which is my business now, my platform. We have 170,000 students now. Around the world is the biggest online businesses and training platform in the world for Hispanic entrepreneurs. And so that was it. I started planning and organizing and recording hundreds of hours of trainings. And then I built what it is now. So I became a coach, and that's my passion. And then I discovered public speaking and motivating, because one thing that I learned in this coaching path is that the problem with people is not they don't know how to make money. They do. I mean, they don't know how to make more money. They don't know how to talk with money. But the biggest problem people has is the one I faced when I started, which is they don't know they can. They don't believe they can. People believes their life is what they have in front of them, and that's it. So now I focus into something else. Typically, my clients are right now Spanish-speaking business people or entrepreneurs who are looking to buy their lives back, who are prisoners of the current situation, and they're looking for a way to reach the market in a more effective way, want to do it from home and want to do it on their own terms. I help them build online businesses, online structures that can create and promote anything they want with that. It's not just promoting something specific. They can promote them and accelerate any product or any service they have. And they can do it from anywhere, anytime, and actually earning anything as much as they desire. That's what I do right now, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Hector, you've really made some great points there. What I really resonated with is when you are taking a new path and starting an entrepreneurship journey, it's very common for the people close to you, your family, your friends, not to show the support that you really feel you need. So I really relate to that part of your story, that you wanted more, but the people close to you didn't give you that support because of their own limiting beliefs. So I really resonated with that. It's great to hear how you have gone from being lonely, sad, depressed to really transforming your business into having a platform with 170,000 people on board. That is an incredible achievement, Hector. You must be so proud.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Actually, I wouldn't, I'm pretty sure you know this yourself, but for me, success is not the end result. It's a process, and it's always it's a never-ending process. Sorry, you always want to achieve more and grow more and help more people. So I wouldn't say I'm proud. I know my wife is. She always tells me that. When I sit and think of the things I have accomplished and the path, the last 15 years, then I reckon I have done a lot. But I'm not quite there where I want to be. I want to completely change the life of at least 100. I want to create 100,000 millionaires in the Hispanic audience, in the Hispanic, because it's something we need. That's what I do, because I'm helping myself 15 years ago. That's what I want to do. There's a lot of problems in the Latin American community, a lot of difficulties. We don't know it's not an excuse. We should do better as a society, let's say the Latin American community, but we kind of like hold that as we think we're the victims. We look at people like you guys in Europe or people in the States. Oh yeah, they have everything, and that's it. That's how we roll. They have it, we don't. We live in South America, so let's just be poor and work, and that's it. So I want to change that. I want to let people know, dude, if I made it, I was nobody. If I made it to this point, and I believe that I'm not even 1/100th of where I want to be or where I will be in a few years. If I'm here, then literally anybody can, because I'm no special. It's just that I just wanted something more, and I looked for it, and I went straight to get it.
It's great that you are so ambitious. You're still striving for more, but it's also really special that you're coming from a place of service, because that's why we all do these journeys, is to serve others and help others and show others the way forwards and show them the path that is going to take them to the next level. So it's great that you're coming from a place of service, Hector. Can you share, who are your customers? Who are your clients?
Yes, of course. Well, as I mentioned, I want to help myself 15 years ago. So that's what I do. I help people from 20-somethings to 50s that they are Hispanic speakers, Latin American and Hispanic. I have a lot of clients in Spain that wants something more out of their lives. I don't preach, I don't go trying to force anybody to think otherwise. If you're happy with your job, if you're happy with your life as it is right now, fine. But whoever is not, whoever in the Latin or Hispanic community that is not happy with what they have, and they wish for something more, and they don't know exactly how to get it, and they're struggling, and they're facing the same obstacles that I faced 15 years ago, all of them are my clients. I have customers now from 20-somethings up to 70, late 70s, that I'm helping them with the change of what they have now. And as I said, that are looking to buy their lives back. And that's exactly what I do. That's my market. That's my customers. Those are my customers. People that are struggling, Hispanic speakers, Latin American entrepreneurs. I say entrepreneurs, not only business people, because any businessman is an entrepreneur, but not every entrepreneur is a businessman. So anybody who wants something more out of their lives, then that's my customer.
Hector, do you recall a specific aha moment that led to the launch of your business?
Well, actually, yes. I remember there was a point in my life that changed everything for me. There was many of them that changed the path. The beauty of this, Mark, and I'm guessing you will have faced something similar, is that as long as you keep walking and you open a door and you go through it, more doors will open that you might most likely not have known that they existed. And then you see, oh my gosh, and you, whoa, in I don't know, happiness of all the opportunities that are in front of you that you didn't know existed. So as I told you, when I decided that I need to learn how this internet thing works for my company. I need to bring my brand to the world. So how does this work? I started studying, and I mentioned going to seminars and conferences. And I remember the first conference I went to the States. It was in Orlando, a 3-day conference. It was the first time I went to a conference in the States, and I was blown away. Those guys, they know how to put a show, with the music and, people jumping and all that. And I was, I don't know, amazed. But then this guy that put the company, put the show, he was doing kind of like what I didn't know I want to do, but I was kind of like doing. But then I saw in that room like 700 people, and I was like struggling with like 40, 50 at that point. And I said to myself, this guy is just standing here, 700 people listening to him and jumping. And I started talking to all of them, to as many as I could. And there were people from all over the country, and all of the, in whatever age range. And I remember at some point, because I was the only Latin American in the actually South American, not Latin American, South American. There was a lot of Central American, Mexico, Puerto Rico, of course. But I was the only South American in the room. And at some point, he called like 50 of us, and I was one of them, went to the stage, and 10 of us were able to give a little speech to the audience, to say who we were and how do we enjoy the show, the conference at the very end. That was at the very end. And that moment when I hold the microphone and I was looking to those 700 people, and I told them that I was super happy and humbled to be there, and I thanked this guy. And that was like, this is what I want. I want to help. I want to be able to do this, to reach hundreds. Well, now it's actually hundreds of thousands, but to reach hundreds of people. I want to be able to step here, to be in front of them and talk to them. And I want to change their lives, because I knew that guy was changing lives. This guy is changing lives, like in a huge, much more bigger scale than I'm doing right now, or what I'm starting to do. I didn't even know I was changing lives. I was just helping people, that were asking me favors. But that's what I knew I wanted to do. That conference, that moment on that stage, that was given. It was not mine to take. It was just given. That changed my life. That was, I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna help more people. I'm really gonna do this on a bigger scale, and I'm gonna be successful at this. I think that was one of them.
That was a great aha moment, Hector. What really motivates you to jump out of bed every single day?
Well, you're asking this and I'm with a smile on my face, because if you recall when I said in the beginning about my past that I was not happy, well, now I am. I love what I do. I just get up out of bed happy because I do what I love. Doesn't mean that I don't work. I work my my ass off. I don't know if I can say.
You just did, so let's go with it.
I work really, really hard, but I'm happy doing it. I live in a pretty nice town here in Sweden, outside of Stockholm, and when we looked for this apartment, it was actually kind of like it's a set of apartments in a big place. I look for the same that I look when I look for a house in Norway. I lived in Norway a few years, and it's green. I have a huge wood all around our property. I'm actually looking at it right now from the studio of my house. And every morning, whenever I feel like it, I'm actually I didn't do it now. Today I was busy, but I'm going to do it right after this call. I'm going to go take a walk. And I love taking a walk whatever time I want. Just go there, breathe, listen to some audiobook or some just music. And in fact, something that I like when I'm in the woods is just laying on the grass, looking up, and you see these trees and the light of the sun coming through the leaves. And as poetic as it sounds, that is what happiness is for me. I mean, I'm free to do that. I'm actually free to do what I want with my time. And that is why I wake up every day with a smile, ready to rock, and working, and because I can actually do what I want with my time. And I know that what I am doing, it's helping other people reach exactly that. Let me tell you one story. One of my very, very first students, when I just started, with that little group of 10, 50. Remember I told you up to 200? Well, when I was just starting, there was this lady. Her name is Daniela. She's from Uruguay. And she was working 10 to 11 hours to 12 sometimes a day, 6 days a week. Single mom. She had a huge problem with her back because she was on this kind of like warehouse. And even if she was kind of like the manager of the warehouse, she used to carry a lot of weight and stuff. So she actually was, when she reached to me, she was on health, it's not called vacation, it's leave. Yeah, health leave, because she was in a bed with her back almost broken, of work, and a lot of problems. The kid, also depressed. I don't know. So she started asking. She found me on Facebook. Hey, how do you do it? I was offering free advice and free classes, and so she reached out to me. And long story short, 1 year after that, she had quit her job. Super healthy. She moved to a different town with her daughter, and she was making $4,000 to $10,000 a month, doing what she wanted, and making little colors, little jewelry with her hands. She was an artist, and doing jewelry and giving coach to other single moms online, and selling her things online on e-commerce. And she was just able to do whatever she wanted, not even a year after. And that is what makes me happy. That what makes me wake up, because I know I'm helping people doing that makes me happy now. So it's impossible for me not to wake up and do stuff. I love waking up and work.
That's a great story, and I love hearing success stories, Hector. What sets your business apart, and what unique need are you filling for your clients and customers?
Well, from a business point of view, in this level I am now, and in the part of the world I am now, the biggest difference is that I aim exclusively 100% to Hispanic entrepreneurs, Latin American mainly. It's a marketplace, a target audience that is not looked for in my area of business, because the biggest clients are in the States or in Europe. And that's how everybody that is in coaching or mentorship looks for, is that this world, this part of the world, because and in this part of the world now is where the most entrepreneurs are. We actually have money say we now, because I've been living in Europe for some years now, but there's much more structure here to do stuff. As I said in the beginning, I will repeat it, I'm helping myself 20 years ago. So that is the first differential I have in my business. And that was what it makes it successful, I think, because I'm the biggest guy doing this right now for Latin American audiences. And another thing is that I know what they need, because I was there. And I'm not saying I know what I need. I was there from a normal person to successful person, because every successful person was actually a normal person, as I call it in the past. But because I try to help Latin American audiences, I know exactly what they need, because I am one, and I went through it, and I know exactly how the obstacles and the struggles we face, from corrupt governments to like poor economy to like even poorer way of thinking, and this stupid, absolutely insane idea that we are victims of this world. We are the least taken care of, or the least heard of, or it's retarded. It's kind of like, every, as you will say in the States, minority thinks they are less than anybody, but it's not Europeans or the North Americans that are putting anybody else in that situation. It's we that do that. We ourselves do that to ourselves. We think we are less than, or we don't have the same opportunities as people in Europe or people in the States, which is retarded, because we put that in our brains. So I have something when I talk to my clients is like my baseball bat that I swing to their faces to let them know the truth. I mean, dude, you can do anything you want. So I've been there. So I'm with them, and I'm trying to help them become something more. And then focus exclusively on them, on Latin American audiences. So that's what I would say that sets my business apart.
You are walking the walk and talking the talk, Hector, and it's great that you're helping so many others find their inner brilliance. Why is your service especially important in today's modern world?
Well, that is a super easy question for me to answer because we are doing an interview now. You are in England and I'm in Sweden, and we're doing it online. And you are selling your books online as me, and my business is online. Everything is online. The time of the old way of doing businesses is over. Even if you have like a grocery store in the corner, if you're not online, you're dead in the water. Your competition is going to eat you up. So that is why my service is important. I help you, of course, with a lot of personal development tools. I help people grow in their head, like reprogram themselves. But from a business point of view, my focus is online business structures. And that is not many, some people that might not know will think, oh yeah, but I don't do e-commerce, or I don't want to do affiliates. That is all scams and stuff. Because people think like that. But online business structures is what every single business, no matter what it is, if it's a single entrepreneur or a grocery store or whatever it is, you need an online business structure. And you, as the days pass, you even more and more and more need an online business structure with more tools and more technologies going for it. So that is why right nowadays is not something that's kind of like necessary. It's mandatory if you want to be successful. Absolutely 100% mandatory to have an online business structure.
Can you share more detail on the kind of service and products you offer?
Yeah, for sure. Well, in Sé el Jefe, Be the Boss, my company, I focus to reprogram my users. We have two different separate platforms within the platform. One is the university, Sé el Jefe, in which I guide people and I teach them how to start into this online world, and focus mainly on reprogramming. But inside of it, there's the business structure, the business area, and then there's a lot of training, professional courses about everything from NLP to affiliate marketing, e-commerce, I don't know, body language for business, Bitcoin training, investments in online investments training. I don't know, whatever. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to learn something about how to make my business bigger, or how to actually get into the online world and be successful, then everything is in there. Every single service, every single course. And then personally, I give coaching, personal coaching, one-on-one. I give coaching to corporations, to like their marketing teams, or from specifically on the marketing teams related to the online world, or as a, let's say, reprogrammer, for motivation and personal development, or for big corporations as well. But it's basically that training, coaching on any literally basically anything you need to know to set up your online structure and be successful with it.
Now, I would imagine you have all sorts of client success stories. You have already shared one. What is one that really stands out in your mind?
Okay, that one is one that I keep close to my heart because, you know, it's one of the first ones. But I can share with you another one. I have a guy from Colombia. He is an university dean. He's in his 60s, almost his 60s, and a super successful scholar, you know, super culture guy, engineer. He gave classes on university for 30 years, and as I mentioned, he's actually a dean of a university back in Colombia. And as I mentioned, he wanted to buy his life back because, you know, he was all his life slave of a specific system. And old school guy, never ever touched a computer more than maybe to say hi to the kids and the grandkids on Facebook. And nowadays, not even 8 months after, he's making, I don't know, I should check. I'm not going to do it right now, but I should check the database. But he's making thousands of dollars a week with my system and online. And he has he actually, every day he sends me updates because he's so excited. And he has 4,300 people under him in the training platform, because my system I have a pretty strong system in Sé el Jefe. It's not only a training platform, it's also an super affiliate platform, automatic platform. So if you, let's say you, Mark, you refer somebody, and that somebody comes to study with me within the system, and then he or she buys any course or any product within the system, then you get a commission. So this gentleman, Jorge, he has 4,300 students on my platform under him directly. So he's making a lot of money with it, a lot of money. And he told me that with me, he studied more than he studied at the university when he just started, because he's devouring courses, and he's somebody that studied all his life. He's not gonna stop now. It's only that now he chose to study about online businesses, and he's like constantly growing and learning and making more money, and so happy. And again, he's one of my spammers. He spams me every day with messages, updating me on his new numbers and how much money he made that day. And it's something really, really special for me.
That is a great success story, and what a great way to be spammed, hearing of all those successes too, Hector.
Yeah.
How do clients typically hear about you, and are there certain life moments that usually lead to them seeking you out?
Well, the way I build my system, they hear about me through other people. Word of mouth is the biggest marketing you can use. In fact, for Sé el Jefe, which now has 170,000 affiliates and students, I think I have not spent 1 cent in advertisement for that so far.
That's a big achievement.
Maybe in the beginning, when I just launched, but it's been word of mouth. I mean, I built a team in the beginning before even starting with my older students. I told them, I'm going to build this platform, and I think you will really, really love it. It's a lot of training, much more deeper and profound than what I taught you, last year. So I invited them, and I gave them a lot of benefits, and they joined, and they started learning, and they loved it. And just so you know, when we launched in April last year, my expectation was to get to 3,000 people like that month, 100 people per day. And we end in April with 11,000 people. It became huge. And because they loved it, people loved it. So now my students do the work for me because they know what they're getting, and they look for people that are actually looking to find the same thing, that wants, how can I just be free? How can I get out of my 9 to 5? How can I build something online that will allow me to work and be with my family while I'm sitting in, I don't know, near my pool or on vacation, or with my kids playing, and then just with my phone or my computer. So that is how people look for me right now. Well, I have my podcasts too. I'm really motivational focused as well with my podcast, and I have built right now when I say system is because I have 4 websites and 2 apps, online apps for phones, all of them linked together, and with systems in place, one with another, sharing information and bringing benefits. And so it's a pretty huge platform. And people looks for it now. Actually became Sé el Jefe for this Hispanic world in business. It became a big thing. So now they just come, you know.
You are doing incredible work in this world and inspiring, helping others to move forwards, Hector. I find your work fascinating. Is there anything we did not cover that you would like to share?
Well, because this is an interview with you, and I told you when we had that first conversation, I really like what you're doing. I'm gonna give you a super new thing that nobody knows. I'm actually at this moment writing 2 books simultaneously. I'm not gonna launch it at the same time. It's gonna be based on my work with the podcast. They're gonna be exclusively motivational books for Hispanic businesses. And I'm going to launch them this year. I'm going to launch the first one this year. And my idea is to launch one every year. So I'm working on that right now. But that is the one thing that nobody knows. Not even my students or my clients knows about that. Only my wife, and now you and your audience. But before going, I want to say again to whoever is listening that do not allow anybody anywhere to tell you what you can or what you can't do or accomplish. Ever. Just don't. It's ridiculous. Nobody in the world has the power to make you feel anything. We give people that power. And sadly, we give them so much power that whoever they tell us, we believe. And then we put ourselves in that cage. And as your title in your book says, step into your brilliance. In order to do that, you need to believe in it. And the first thing you need to stop doing is stop listening to anybody else. Just move forward. Whatever wish you have, whatever desire, ambition. Ambition is a beautiful word. It's not a bad word. People think of ambition as a bad thing. And ambition will take you far, far, far away. So just go for it. And as I always say, see you on the top.
What a great way to finish the show, Hector. You have really inspired me today and motivated me to think even bigger, and I've really enjoyed interviewing you. Can you share with our listeners, how can people follow you? How can people check you out? How can people reach out to you?
Yes, for sure. Okay, people can find everything related to the business I mentioned and all of the system. They just need to look for Sé el Jefe. That is SEELJEFE. Sé el Jefe, be the boss in Spanish. If you just Google it up, everything that shows up in the first, 5 pages is all me. It's all our stuff. And or if you want to reach me out, you can look for me as Hector RC. If you just also Google Hector RC or you Facebook Hector RC, you'll find me. I'm super easy to find in any social media. It doesn't matter if it's Pinterest or Tumblr or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, you name it. I have an account. I'm I'm everywhere. And just reach out to me. I answer all of the messages, not all the time in time, because I have many messages, but every single one of them you can reach, or you can send me an email directly to hector@seljefe.com, and I will see it for sure. I mean, I'm always available.
I have enjoyed our conversation today, Hector. Thank you for being on the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Mark.
Today, I have been having a conversation with Héctor Rodríguez Curbelo, serial entrepreneur, author, and mentor. Our topic today is buying your life back with online business structure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show with your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Until next time, goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.